10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? Excuse me. I don't know where the hell everybody else is at. Hey, fuck, Sith for Life is streaming this on his channel. And he hadn't even bothered to show up. That's what I get. See? It's all right. It's all right. I'll do the chat by myself. You guys know I will. I'll sit here and do the whole damn thing by myself. Fuck those guys. Now they're always going to be late. Jared's always late. JB's 50-50. I don't know what's going on with Sith. Fucker's streaming this on his channel and he's not even here. Oh, well, there's a Handler.
I mean, I don't know how much toys I can talk about with you, but...
Well, this is not the toy chat. This is just the regular Geek chat.
I don't know which
TV shows.
You want to talk about Deep Space Nine for fucking 45 minutes? I can do that.
We probably could. We probably fucking could. DS9 fucking awesome. I've been watching. I've been falling down like Star Trek rabbit holes lately. Because I don't know. I guess I watched one too many of them, and so like I get the recommendations over and over again. So it's like everything from like tech specs on ships, and like I was watching one the other day that was the tech specs on DS9, the station, and then getting lots of fucking lore videos about, like, I watched one that was like how every major captain in Star Trek became a captain, you know, and it goes through the whole list, starting all the way back with Archer from Enterprise and all the way up to, you know, whatever. And I've for some reason my feed has been full of Star Trek videos because I don't know what the fuck I watched. I mean, I don't mind. I fucking love Star Trek, but so yeah,
I have this theory that Cisco is Section 31. Just think about it. Like
expand.
So there was the fight with the Maquis, in which his Harrington, whatever the fuck his name was, his fucking chief of security, defected and joined the Maquis against him and used his knowledge and like position within
the dude from Krull.
Right. So he fucking to get him to capture Eddington, he went through and poisoned planets so that no humans could live on them for like 1,000 years. Just like planet after planet with humans on them. Like, fuck you, you're gonna do what I say. Like, that's the first one. Second one, all right, Odo. Odo gets captured and like caught unawares so that he could be given the virus that killed all the changelings, right? Or that was going to kill all the changelings. Yeah. Well, who did he go to Earth with? Cisco. Right? So Cisco was with him when he got captured by Section 31 and medically induced into genocide, right?
True. Yeah. He was.
Julian Bashir. There was the episode where Bashir had to infiltrate the Romulan fucking whatever to see if he could fucking find out what was wrong with the dude.
Yeah.
Well, when he talked to Cisco about it.
That's right. Yeah, he went to that medical conference or whatever.
Yeah. Cisco was the one who specifically encouraged him to go on the trip and to pretend to be interested in Section 31's plan and go along with the plan to a point to figure out what they were going to do. And then he was also the guy who like wouldn't, you know, like no one talked to Bashir in the middle of it. So he had to like make the decision on his own.
Yeah.
They manipulated Bashir using Cisco. So like again, like I think there was something else too that I thought of when I was thinking about this a while back, but yeah, that's the argument as to why.
And it would explain, like, because I mean, if you think about it, like, yeah, he was a Starfleet officer.
Oh, I remember the other one.
After everything that happened at Wolf 359, he was really mad and bitter, like really fucking angry and disillusioned, not just with Picard, but with how Starfleet did things in general. That would give him that would be like a lot of impetus to like be like, you know what, we can't ever have that shit happen again. And Starfleet and the Federation are not putting themselves in a position to do anything about this. Section 31 would see that opening and be like, hey, we can get this guy. Because that's what they did. They waited till somebody was vulnerable or whatever to go after them, when they would go after people in Starfleet to recruit them.
Well, and then the other thing was the Defiant itself, prototype ship, not authorized for use in the regular fleet, and yet somehow Cisco ends up with this prototype ship that's a warship, which, you know, like,
they're not even supposed to be building.
Yeah, Starfleet doesn't build warships, but, you know, somehow they have a warship. You know what I mean? So, like, there's another example.
A warship that didn't he helped work on the design, right? Didn't he have?
That's what he was doing before he joined Section 31 or whatever. Was he was working at Jupiter or whatever fucking shipyard designing ships, doing ship design. Yeah. Exactly.
And the whole reason that ship was built and the whole reason he was working on it is because it was an anti-Borg ship.
Yeah, it was a response to the Borg. It was a weapon to use against the Borg if they ever attacked, which it was in what was the movie, Star Trek movie where the Borg attacks?
At First Contact.
Okay, so First Contact, if you pay attention, there's a short little stint where fucking Worf is fighting on the Defiant against the Borg. Yeah. And then the Defiant gets all fucked up, and they beam everyone aboard, and Worf comes on the bridge, and they're like, "Oh, tough little ship, little."
Fuck you, little. Like, that's just a bunch of fucking cannons with a cockpit's what that little fucker is.
Which, okay, brings me to another point. It pisses me off that there was never any Deep Space Nine movies, like any, because like there was like Star Trek movies stemming off from, you know, of course, the original one, but then Next Generation had their own movies, but Deep Space Nine never had their own movie. I mean, I guess you could call the Dominion War kind of a movie itself, but then the other part is they never mentioned the Dominion War in any of the subsequent Star Treks except for like a little bit. You know, no one really talks about the biggest fucking war
the way they get around that is because the only other show really in real canon that happened after that was Voyager, and Voyager left before the Dominion War started and didn't come back till after it was over.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm like Picard or whatever.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it.
They gave lip service to it. And then they had like the changelings were there, but they're all different now. It's like, dude, god damn it, dude, they fuck everything up. I hate that.
They always do fuck everything up. I think that would be awesome, though. I am still waiting because I think it would be a perfect time to do another Star Trek show. Now that there's all this shit with Paramount selling it off and possibly another company coming in run by what's his name, Terry Matalas, who actually is a fan of real Star Trek, which is the only reason why that last season of Picard was watchable. To go back to that and kick it off, and it doesn't have to be a Deep Space Nine show, but it needs to tie into Deep Space Nine because, like, there's a lot that went on Deep Space Nine. Like, I feel like, you know, between everything going on with the Next Generation and the Next Generation movies and Picard, like, we've explored that crew and any kind of further adventures they could have. But you could bring back a new show, and it kicks off with Cisco returning from the Prophet.
Or not even returning. You could just have like signs from the Temple of the Prophets that something's wrong, and then you could get like a vision from Cisco to like Bashir or like his son, maybe, you know, fucking his son's still alive and would presumably be living on Bajor or on the fucking station at that point.
But I think if you bring something new in, you don't just make it specific to one particular show. You have characters like fucking Harry Kim on there, who maybe is, I don't know, maybe he's finally not an ensign anymore. Maybe he made a lieutenant now after 30 years or whatever the fuck. Like I
wish like someone like us would write it though. Like we would at least like give them the idea. Like, okay, here's what's gonna do.
Like we could do like a plot. I don't think we could write a script, but
right.
Plot. But like you bring it in and have it be like they were gonna do that show after Picard ended called Star Trek. Fuck, it had a name and everything, but it would have been fucked up because it was the wrong people doing it. But they essentially, if you watch that last season of Picard, you know it ended with essentially 7 of 9 getting command of the newest Enterprise, and like Q made an appearance, and like they were setting it up to like spin off. It was like I think it was called like Final Frontier, Star Trek Final Frontier, or I don't know what the fuck it was called. But anyway, there was going to be a new show, and then with the sale of Star Trek and them getting rid of it and not deciding they're shutting everything Star Trek down from their point of view, which again I think is a good thing. It opens it up to like, you know, do something. But like you've got 7 of 9, you have it tied directly to, you know, the wormhole, which is what you need to do. You need to tie it back to that because that's a huge fucking like just unresolved storyline from Star Trek. The wormhole was a big fucking deal, dude. Like the prophets, the wormhole aliens, them being there, the fact that you've got these powerful aliens that fucking had a Starfleet captain as their prophet that at the end of the series they brought in for a greater purpose. And there's just this fucking alien-made wormhole from one side of the galaxy to the other that is controlled by the Federation. That is and then we just don't ever talk about it again. That is a huge unresolved plot point. So it needs to resolve around Cisco and the wormhole, but you bring in 7 of 9 because she's a good character. She was one of the few good characters on Picard, you know, that was actually brought back. You know, you bring in some of the other characters. I don't know who from DS9, from Voyager. Maybe Riker shows up. I don't know. But you do an all new show about something going on with the wormhole. I don't know what it is. But that's way more interesting than anything else they've fucking done.
Well, you know how like they do like character development on certain characters? What if they did species development on certain species, like the Cardassians, who traditionally had always been these like manipulative, warlike, fucking pompous race that were out to basically make an empire in the world, or in the fucking galaxy.
Yeah,
they got pretty fucked up in the Dominion War.
They got fucked up, and when all that ended, like their power structure and their was completely shifted, and people were taking control of the Cardassian Empire that had very, very different goals, much more in line with what could work with the Federation.
Right, like
they were becoming a
science, and you know,
like they were like the people that because the military that had run the fucking, you know, Cardassian Empire for, you know, I think, what did they say, like 150, 200 years or whatever it had been since before they took over Bajor, like what had just destroyed everything, and none of the people and none of the, like, they didn't trust them. There were other people like waiting to take control of the Cardassian Empire because they saw what military control did. It just shattered them. So you could have a completely new entry with the Cardassian Empire, maybe have like one of the main characters be the first Cardassian to join Starfleet or something like that.
Or have Garrick be one of the characters that you bring back, who somehow worked his way into like the Senate or something. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. Like, there's a million directions you could go that would all be good, but all they do is like say, "Well, I'm just gonna like make my own shit up because like I don't want to do the research to actually fucking know anything about this."
Yeah,
because I'm
we think people want something completely
who
different
got a degree in
for Star
writing.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying they come in and they're like, we think people want something completely different that doesn't feel like Star Trek at all. No.
Yeah, we're gonna reinvent the wheel and make something better.
Yeah, we're gonna reinvent a wheel that was written in 1966 and maintained itself for 40 some odd years,
longer than that,
without any fucking like fucking people loved to some degree or another every iteration of fucking Star Trek, from the 60s to the original cast movies to Next Generation movies to DS9 to Voyager, even Enterprise was a good show. I mean, it got canceled too soon, and there was a lot of behind the scenes bullshit from Paramount with them doing stuff, but it was still a good show, and it was well loved by Star Trek fandom. Like, there is tons of proof that what had been being done consistently for decades worked, and they want to come in and just be like, fuck it, let's just do different shit for no fucking reason. So
I know, let's get rid of warp drive for some reason, and we'll have spore drive instead.
Yeah,
because we're retarded. I swear they did mushrooms when they were writing it.
By the way, let me give a shout out. What's up, Josh? I got to hang out with Josh today. It was awesome.
What kind of bike does he have?
He has a fucking 1300 fucking fuck, it was a Gixxer? Or was what the fuck was your bike, dude?
That's a Hayabusa.
Hayabusa 1300? There you go.
If it's a Suzuki 1300 sport bike, that's called a Hayabusa.
Yeah, and it's got ass tons of fucking custom shit done to it.
Did you write it?
No, I told him.
Why wouldn't you? You have an opportunity to hop on a Hayabusa.
Oh, in fact, I
specifically
told him. Yeah, he says 2001 Hayabusa. It's highly customized. Full build. Yeah, he's got nitrous tank.
He's got nitrous Busa, and you said no.
Yeah, in fact, I told him, don't worry, I will never ask you to ride your bike because I will kill myself on that fucking.
Yeah, well, you don't have to twist the throttle all the way, motherfucker. You can do like halfway.
Barely have to breathe on the throttle, and I fucking whatever. I don't know. Maybe he'll talk me into it at some point. But no, we went out to eat and fucking hung out, and it was awesome. And yes, we will definitely do it again next time I get a weekend off. So. But
he's got a like different end of the spectrum of bikes versus what you have.
Oh yeah, completely different.
Like, I'd have trouble keeping up with that on the FZ6. Like that's pretty fast bike.
Oh yeah, and that's without fucking boost.
That's ridiculous. Why would you put nitrous on your Busa? I mean, I guess you can. That's why.
Hey, fuck you to everybody.
People put.
Well, how else are you going to fly?
That's true. Just throw some wings on that fucker.
People put turbochargers on them or superchargers on them. I forget which.
But no, I had fun, man. It was awesome. I finally got I've been here for 2.5, 3 months, however long it's been, and I finally got to fucking meet Josh for the first time, even though I've been talking to this fucking motherfucker for 15 years. So it was awesome. Oh, he says this winter it's getting turboed. Oh, you're going to do more to it. Of course you are.
There's no such thing as a finished project.
Yeah. Although he's like, hey man, I got a shop. Anything you need done to your bike, just let me know. I was trying not to, I really wanted to be like, okay, so here's what I want to do. Like, I had a list in my head, but I'm like, I'm not going to be that guy that does that shit.
Immediately.
I'm just like, no, I'm cool, man. I appreciate it. In my head, I'm like, yes, no, but anyway. But no, it was awesome. It was awesome. We're definitely
You're gonna turbo it too this winter? Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much the fastest bike that you can buy. I don't know of another bike top speed or acceleration wise that would readily beat it. That's insane.
Yeah, he wants to go riding, and I'm thinking to myself, On that bike, your riding and my riding are two completely different things.
Well, okay, and then the other thing is
He's gonna have to like ride in third just so I can keep up with him.
Because it's a 2001.
Uh-huh.
You don't have traction control. You don't have fucking ABS. You don't have rider aids. You don't have power modes. The only power mode is your wrist. Those are insane.
Yeah. It's a fucking gorgeous bike, dude. It has been well pimped out. So,
Spinning cheese.
yep. Straight mechanical raw dog power. Yes, I would say that's right. But anyway, yeah, no, the whole Star Trek thing, they should really. I don't know. I hope whoever ends up getting control of Star Trek does some good things with it. I you know,
Probably not.
I feel like we've fucking gotten to a point where these fucking studios have got to understand people don't want to watch the shit they're putting out. And that there are formulas that have worked for decades. And if you would just go back to that and find people who appreciated that for what it is to write your shit, guess what? People will watch your shit and you'll start making money on these fucking franchises again.
Bro, I think time's up for them. Because AI that can make you like a movie starring yourself about whatever you can think of in like really cool fucking ways is probably right around the fucking corner. So you're just like, all right, I want a movie starring Never Enough Ammo and E Honda, and we're like Neo and fucking Morpheus, and you know, like do some shit, and here you go. And then it would just make the movie. And you would be Neo, and I would be Morpheus. I don't know why.
I think you got another 5 years.
Maybe I'm Neo. I think I'm Neo. Who's Neo? If it was you or me, who's Neo?
I'm Neo.
No, you're fucking not.
Yeah, I am.
You found me, remember? That makes you Morpheus.
That's true.
And the bald head makes you Morpheus.
Sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just want to watch good shit. It's not that should not be a lot to ask with as many outlets there are producing fucking everything under the sun that you could possibly imagine. It is not too much to ask that these franchises that have endured the test of time and multiple generations of fans just be able to keep doing what they're doing, because what they're doing works. Why do you want to fuck with it? If you want to do other things, do other things. Make a different shit. You know what I'm saying? Like make your own fucking thing. I know I'm just repeating shit that me and thousands of other people have said thousands upon thousands of times, but like make your own shit. Don't come in and fuck up an established franchise, whether it's fucking Star Trek or Star Wars or Indiana Jones or fucking Marvel or whatever the fuck it is. Do something different. You know, or if you can't write your own shit because you can't come up with an idea, holy shit, do you know how many books and comic books and things there are out there? I bet these fuckers could find something that fits what they fucking want to do and just option that and turn that into a movie or a series, right? Don't fuck up established shit. That's what they don't get. You're not making it better. You're not making yourself money because nobody's going to your shit. And then you just fucking ruin a fucking franchise. Like I still don't understand how after a solid 10 years of this shit at this point, it's in, you know, roughly about 10 years of the like really, really pushing, whether it's the woke shit or whatever, into existing franchises. I don't understand how companies like Disney haven't like just shut that shit the fuck down. You know? Like I don't get why they haven't gone, hey, we paid $4.5 billion for Star Wars. Maybe, just maybe, this shit isn't working. We should just go back to formula. I don't see how the shareholders of companies like Disney are putting up with this shit and not demanding something be done. I don't get it. It really blows me away at this point that they're just letting these fucking franchises continue to just rot on the fucking vine. But we got some here.
It's the people who are making the decisions who are doing it.
Huh?
It's like the people at the top. It's the CEO. It's the fucking board of directors. And eventually, their fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders to make a product that is profitable will oust all of their fucking activism efforts.
Yeah. Well, I hope it hurries the fuck up and happens. Preston Garvey says, everybody knows that if Matt and E-Honda were in a movie together, they'd be gay space cowboy lovers on a long space cattle drive. You're goddamn right.
I mean, I was assuming that was the movie.
I don't know what space cattle is, but we'll figure that shit out. That's semantics. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's inconsequential. It's all about the gay love story.
As long as we're not riding fucking horses on top of spacecraft of some kind in space.
No, you have to. It's a gay space cowboy story. Plus,
we can ride horses, just not on top of space.
Hold on. Now, if we do write a gay space cowboy story, we're way more likely to get it picked up and get money for it in today's fucking entertainment industry.
I'm thinking space cattle is like probably like the space whales.
Like the space whales from Rebels?
Right. Yeah, kind of hurting them. Yeah.
Yep. Although, speaking of Star Trek, because I did put this in the title of the video, Andor is coming to a close on Tuesday. They've been dropping 3 episodes a week, 4 weeks in a row, 12-episode run. Last 3 episodes drop on Tuesday. The show is fantastic. It is.
Is this going to be the final season?
This is it, yeah, because this season leads right into Rogue One.
Okay.
It is one of the few things that Disney Star Wars has produced that is actually good. How this slipped by them, I don't know, without, bullshit in it. So far, I've watched the all 9 episodes that have dropped so far. Looking forward to the last 3. I truly love this show. I'm going to be sad to see it go because I don't, like I said, I don't know how it got made. Just good Star Wars. Because, that's the thing, too. I think I was talking about it a little bit last night. Like Andor, yeah, it's called Andor, right? Because they took a character that had already been established in Rogue One. And they're like, you could tell that what's his name? And I'm blanking on his name. Is it Gareth Edwards? I think the guy that wrote Rogue One. He wanted to tell a story about how the rebellion came to form to become what it was in A New Hope. And he had already done the very tail end of that story with Rogue One, right? He had told how, what got them the plans to the Death Star. But he wanted to be like, okay, how did the rebellion form? Now, they had done a lot of this if you watch Star Wars Rebels. Another one of the few things Disney Star Wars brought us that was actually good. But we only saw it from a particular aspect of that crew. And you didn't really get a lot of the the bigger picture. It's just like they were one little cell in the rebellion and you would see them do their thing. This is like, like I said, Andor is the character that the audience is watching who, is entering into this world of the rebellion as it's forming. The show is called Andor, but what the show should have been called is like Star Wars Rebellion, is because that's what it is. Half the time Andor's not even on screen. Like it's Mon Mothma and Lucian and all these other characters that are building the rebellion. And that's always as much as, I like, the prequels, even though I still have a problem with Phantom Menace. But I like that era, and I liked watching Clone Wars, and I like that era of Star Wars, and I like the era of Star Wars after Return of the Jedi that I read in all the books back in the 90s. My favorite era of Star Wars has always been Rebels against the Empire, right? Because it's essentially, and I think, depending on what channel you're watching this on, my audience understands, because essentially what that story is, whether you want to call it the story of America or the story of fucking free citizens against government bureaucracy or whatever you want to call it, right? Like, the Empire is the ultimate governmental, fucking freedom removing bureaucracy that's trying to strip away people's freedoms and liberties. And you've got this group of rebels that are fighting against it, and they fucking win, right? Like, it's a great story. So I've always loved that era in the Star Trek universe that surrounds the rebellion fighting the Empire.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically space Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what Andor is about. The entire show, both seasons, is about watching the rebellion form and what happens and who gets involved and how they get involved. And it's like breaking down the structure of like Mon Mothma, right? Like, we all remember her from, I don't think she didn't show up in A New Hope. She showed up first time in Empire Strikes Back. I know she was in Return of the Jedi. Was she in Empire Strikes Back? She made like a brief appearance in that one. I can't remember. But she was the senator, in the Empire that had been ousted because she backed the rebellion, right? And we never really learned a lot about her. You learn all about her and what got her to the point. In fact, the last episode, episode 9, is the episode where she gets fucking ousted for speaking out against the Empire, and she's been secretly fucking funneling money to the rebellion and shit. Like, you're watching, it's Andor, and he's the kind of entry point for the audience, but that's not what the show is about. It's about watching all the little things they do, all the spycraft, how all the people from all over the galaxy are coming together, and like, it's laying out like how they plan attacks and how they're watching and spying on the Empire while the Empire is trying to figure out who's organizing the rebellion. It's a fucking great show. It's adult Star Wars. Like, it's a really good show. I highly recommend it. Disney will probably never give us anything this good again, as long as they retain control over Star Wars. And I'm looking forward to the last 3 episodes, and also very sad that it's the last 3 episodes, because they've done a fantastic job with that era of Star Wars. So,
how long till Disney loses so much money they need to sell Star Wars?
God, I hope soon.
But then we still worry about who's going to get it.
Fucking buys it, that
right.
you do a good job. I wish George Lucas would buy it back, but he probably could. I mean, I mean, George Lucas himself, I think, is worth roughly around $5 billion, like he himself as a person. But he also still owns companies and things like that. And I'm sure, like, if Disney was like, hey, we want to sell this back to you, I am 100% positive, without having to use his own money, he could find investors that would help him buy back Star Wars. But I don't know if he wants to. He's fucking old. He's in his like late 80s, mid to late 80s, something like that. Like, or is he in his late 70s? Anyway, dude's old. Like, I don't know that he even wants to fuck with this shit anymore, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't either if I was him. You know what I mean?
He is 80.
80. There you go.
And he is worth $5.1 billion.
$5.1 billion. Yeah.
God,
I mean, technically, I mean, like, he could buy Star Wars back. But I mean, he probably doesn't want to, but it would be kind of cool. I would love to see somebody who actually respected the franchise get it back. But until then, we have things like Rogue One, like Andor, that are actually good that you can watch and enjoy, which is nice.
Let's watch Solo again.
You know, Solo is just one of those fucking movies. I don't hate Solo, but I also don't ever feel inclined to like watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I think I've seen it twice, and I didn't hate it either time I watched it. And I actually liked what's his face. I can't remember his name. I thought he did a good job playing a young Han Solo. But it's just one of those things. There's things in it that I don't really like that. I don't like that. But it's still a watchable movie. Like, it's way better than the fucking sequel trilogies.
Yeah.
Of course, anything is. But there's still stuff in it that just kind of I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I don't know. It's an okay movie. It is certainly not the worst thing Star Wars that Disney has given us. It's not like outwardly offensive as a piece of Star Wars lore. You know what I mean? Like many of the things that Disney does are. But it's still not something that I really fucking like. It's not something that I like. A lot of the Star Wars stuff, you know, movies, obviously, and stuff like Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars and things like that. Like I rewatch that stuff, you know, because I'm just like, I haven't watched Empire Strikes Back in a while. Oh, I haven't watched Rogue One in a while. Oh, I haven't watched Rebels in a while. I don't do that with Solo. I'm like, oh, it was fine. I didn't hate it, but you know, it is what it is. Preston Garvey dropped another super chat. Thank you, sir. It says we need a Star Wars, Star Trek, and Stargate crossover.
All the stars.
All the stars. I mean, so Star Wars, it would be easier to cross over Star Wars and Star Trek or Star Wars and Stargate than it would be Stargate and Star Trek, because Stargate, the world that Stargate takes place in, makes it impossible for the world of Star Trek to exist, because they don't both take place on Earth or with humans in the Milky Way galaxy. And Star Trek.
Wait a second. What about? Okay, I can't remember the name of the ancient race from Star Trek that had the gateways that they could walk through one planet. So they didn't have starships; they had gateways. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
The Iconians.
Yeah, that's right. The Iconians. What if the Iconians? They just got the name wrong. And they still exist somewhere.
True, because that was the whole thing, is that Iconians were this powerful race that existed hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years ago. They're not exactly sure, that had this empire that stretched across most of the galaxy, and then
right. And then what if humans didn't actually come from Earth? They were brought there.
Maybe. Well, if I remember, the Iconians were wiped out by AI. And then, whereas the ancients of Stargate, they were wiped out because of a disease and then ascended to be higher beings. The ones of them that were actually the ancients split off into two factions. One was the ancients we know that ascended, and the other were the ones that became the Ori, and then they ascended, and you had two different factions of them as ascended beings. But the thing is, Star Trek exists because the world came together after World War III in the mid-21st century and decided to start to work together because the Vulcans showed up and showed them there was a bigger universe out there, right? That can't happen in the world of Stargate, because they've already been all over the fucking galaxy and to other galaxies. And there is no World War III in the universe of Stargate, because all the major powers in the world know about the Stargate and won't go to war because of it, because there are bigger concerns. So if you have a Stargate universe, you can't. The world of Star Trek will never happen. But you can say Star Wars and Star Trek take place in the same universe. It's just because the Star Wars universe is a different fucking galaxy altogether. It's not the Milky Way. It can just be another fucking galaxy. Same thing with Stargate. That could be a fucking galaxy that they go to, like the Pegasus galaxy. This is another galaxy, is the Star Wars galaxy.
And I think that the year is off anyway when it comes to Stargate and Star Trek.
Well, yeah, it's way off.
Yeah, it's way off. So
Yeah, because Stargate takes place like basically now. Star Trek takes place like 300 years in the future.
Right.
Well, depending on what era, but yeah. So, but Star Wars could cross over with either one of those.
yep.
So, it would be kind of cool. You work Star Wars into like. I think Star Wars would work way better with Stargate than it would Star Trek, because in Stargate it was established that those seed ships went out and traveled to all these other galaxies, and so there was a chance that humans made it to all these other galaxies. In fact, they did, because we know humans did, because in Stargate, what was that last show about the Destiny Stargate universe? They found humans in other galaxies far away from the Milky Way galaxy. So they know that the ancients, who were the kind of, to take a Star Trek term, the progenitors of the human race, had spread across to all these other galaxies all over the place. So you could just be like, well, yeah, at some point, fucking hundreds of thousands or millions of years ago, some of the ancients ended up in the Star Wars fucking galaxy, and there were colonies, and eventually, millions of years later, you have the Star Wars galaxy, and that's why there are humans in that galaxy with all those other aliens.
I actually want to see Star Wars and Predator.
Star Wars and Predator?
Yes.
Oh, that wouldn't do shit. The people, your average bounty hunter in Star Wars would kick the shit out of a predator. Fucking Boba Fett would destroy a predator.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they would. The tech, the fact that Boba Fett, like anybody, even your average stormtrooper, their fucking helmets are set up like you can't fucking. They can see in multiple like light ranges and shit. Like Predator's biggest fucking advantage is that he can basically cloak himself, and that would do no good in the Star Wars universe. I mean, other than that, yeah, he's got some cool weapons when he's fighting fucking humans from Earth, but compared to all the weapons and blasters and shit that they have in the Star Wars universe, that ain't shit.
You know, I think honestly,
but it could be a different. Okay,
his cloaking would probably work against him when fighting against stormtroopers, because whenever they shoot at stuff, they miss, so they'd just be shooting into air. And
True.
some of that air might have a cloaked fucking predator.
That it could be a different clan of predators with different tech.
True. I still say though, because if you like get into the fucking like predator lore, there's not a lot of predators. Like they're not a huge fucking like galaxy spanning race. They are a fairly small. There's a fairly small number of them compared to like most other compared to humans on Earth. There's a small number of predators that actually exist because of the fact that their way of life is like most of them go off and fucking die or they kill each other. So there's not a lot of predators in the first place compared to pick any other sci-fi planet that has a population. And they're not a galaxy spanning fucking race. Like they have one fucking home. So there's not a lot of them. Even if all the predators wanted to go to war with, you know, fucking the galaxy of Star Wars, they'd fucking lose. Like they're dangerous because they come to like present day Earth with like cloaking technology and blaster guns. That's why they're dangerous.
Dude, I was just thinking the Klingons are kind of retarded too.
Oh, totally, they are. Speaking of which, I just watched an entire video about how because there was a series of videos. This YouTube channel. I told you I fell down this YouTube rabbit hole. There's a series of videos where they were going through all the different major races in the Star Trek galaxy, and the one they did on the Klingons was like, yeah, there's no way the fucking Klingons have always been as warlike as they are in the current like roughly 150 span of Star Trek that we watch between the original series and, you know, all the other series. because had they always been that warlike, they never would have survived long enough even to fucking discover space travel. So they had to have gone through some periods in time where they weren't like that. You know what I mean?
Think about this. Think about this. He's like badass, extra strong. They have 2 hearts and fucking rib cages that protect them from things that would kill humans, right? They're like these battle fucking hardened fucking warriors that can go hunting and fucking, and they eat, what do they eat? Worms? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That makes no sense unless maybe, I was thinking about this. They like went through a period of time where they were either like conquered or they went through like a famine of some kind.
Yeah.
And they found a way to like survive the famine by eating some shit that they never would have eaten otherwise, and then like developed a fucking a taste for gach, right?
Yeah.
Like the what are those little furry fucking things called? The that were on that one episode of Deep Space Nine where they go back into the past and meet Kirk.
Yeah, Tribbles.
Trouble with Tribbles, yeah. So what if the Tribbles made their way to the Klingon homeworld and ate all the food and starved them out, and the only thing that they could do was kill all the Tribbles?
It would be the exact same as why people still eat lobster today.
Bleh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like lobster, it was the shit they fed prisoners because they didn't want to give them real fucking food. And then somehow it fucking caught on as like, hey, let's all eat sea bugs, you know. And now it's like a delicacy, just like gach.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad
Everybody
that
know
you,
the-
I'm glad that
why
you
don't we
ruined
add-
shrimp for me, bro. Like earlier today, I could have had some shrimp ceviche, but all I could think of was cockroach ceviche. And I'm like,
Because somebody had a great idea, like, why don't we add butter to the lobster?
Yeah.
And that's when it took off.
Put some butter on them cockroaches. I'm sure
yeah,
they'll
put
taste
some butter on the fucking grasshoppers.
in hell.
Same
But-
thing with the oysters. Like, when you look at an oyster, it doesn't even look edible.
No. Oysters, mussels, all that shit.
Good old
Yeah.
snot from a rock.
No.
That shit is.
Oh,
I don't know why people eat that shit, man.
You really have to be desperate.
I feel like you
You're
didn't.
the
Well,
first person.
that's why people started eating that shit in the first place. They were fucking desperate. It was people who lived in areas where that was the only fucking food source they could find, or they were prisoners, or some. You know, there was something fucked up. That was not people's first choice fucking food.
Yeah, do you
You know,
think you'd eat oysters if you had a cow?
Exactly.
There's no. You'd eat oysters if you had chickens?
No. Fuck no.
Some people looked at a cow and said, Rocky Mountain oysters.
Man, but oysters are pretty good.
Some people are.
You know, I've never eaten a Rocky Mountain oyster,
Me
but I
neither.
would.
Me either.
Pay me a lot of money.
I'd have
Yeah,
to. I'd have to.
Right here.
Yeah.
Preston Garvey says they can find a 10th Chevron Stargate that goes to a different parallel universes with bad guys trying to take over all 3 universes. See, that's not bad because it has already been established in Stargate. There was that what was the name of it? Preston, you know a lot about Stargate. Remind me, I can't remember what alien race it was where they found that fucking in like this like cache of like alien weapons. They found a mirror that went to parallel universes. Like there were an infinite number of parallel universes. And like Carter and was it Daniel? 2 of them got stuck on the other side of the mirror in a parallel universe that was like close to theirs. So it was like almost the same, but not quite. It was a universe where they didn't find
what
the
if-
Stargate until
the
after
Stargate-
the gold showed up.
What if the Stargate from Earth that we all know from the was actually from the mirror universe?
There
And
you
that's
go.
why the mirror universe is all fucked up, and
Yeah.
like like the Terrans are all fucking like warlike and angry at each other and shit. Is because they came from the universe that had Stargate, but then you go 400 years into the future, right?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like you cross over to their mirror universe, which would be the Star Trek universe, where everything went right, and then the Stargate people were known as what were they called again?
The ancients.
Yeah. No.
We're talking about the Iconians.
The Iconians. Yeah. So in that universe, they were known as the Iconians, and they never discovered the Iconian gates on Earth.
It's in Iowa.
Or maybe the
Iconian
Iconian
gates in Iowa.
It's like in Star Trek, the Iconian gate, like there wasn't. The Iconians they had an empire, but they were much less what's the word I'm looking for? They were much more like fucking like picky and choosy and fucking like they didn't want to share their technology with anybody, and they didn't use it to explore, just to expand their empire. So what if the ancients and the Iconians are the same, but in one universe they didn't, become like these good people that wanted to go out and explore and put stargates or whatever everywhere.
The Arcanians are not humanoid.
Wait, so who owns the rights to Stargate?
Yeah, they don't have to be in this situation.
MGM.
See, that's why I think, like, really, since Disney owned both Star Wars and plus the Predator series, that is actually the most likely outcome to be a crossover. So
they need a crossover Predator hunting Ewoks.
Yeah, what if there's a Predator fucking bounty hunter?
Man.
That would be cool. Like a bounty hunter guild Predator.
Yeah.
Star Wars already has an entire race that their whole shtick is being.
What if he's a part of it? He was found as a young child, and they raised him to be one. Raised him to be a Mandalorian.
Wait! I got it. Maybe there should be a story about like this mom who gives birth to a son without getting fucked.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they already did that one. So did Christianity.
I've done that a few times.
What if the Predators is actually a ancient descendant of the Mandalorians?
Maybe it's a race.
Disease.
It's a race like because the Predators are all one race. The Mandalorians aren't necessarily. Like they were at one point, but then they kind of spread out and with foundlings and everything else. So what if the Mandalorian culture in some way, shape, or form, since the Star Wars universe is long, long ago in another galaxy, at some point in the Star Wars timeline, far in the future from what we know of Star Wars, thousands and thousands of years, they are finally able to make it through the galactic barrier reliably. We know they can, but it's not very reliable. And Mandalorians make their way to the Milky Way galaxy and have a huge influence on the planet that the Predators are from.
Right.
And they continue that kind of hunting and honoring fucking tradition of the Mandalorians.
This is the gayest conversation that I've ever been a part of, and I appreciate it.
Well, the Mandalorian mythos was started by Tong, Taung, and it was originally the Mandalorians were a specific race.
They were. What if this specific race were predators?
Well, what wasn't? No, well, because the Tong were a specific race, but then at some point, the humans came to that planet and ended up killing all the Tong. And then the human race became the dominant Mandalorian race.
I still find it weird that they call the human species humans in Star Wars, since it's a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. Why are they called humans?
See, if we had some good writers,
we got it from. Maybe that's where we got it from.
And if they had good writers, this could actually make it happen.
Yep.
Right? They can write it in a way where it could actually, these two universes can come together and connect.
Star Trek has their own type of Predator ripoff, the Rosians.
Yeah, that's true.
Which
Yeah,
I
they're
like
like
gay predators though.
Right.
When they first introduced the Rosians, they were bigger than humans, much bigger. They're like 7-8 feet tall. Then they realized, well, you can't. This is hard to shoot, so they made them like more human size later on.
Yeah, I think they can make it happen.
I think so. I like this.
Yep.
Let's make it happen.
You and the captain make it happen.
Let the captain make it happen. What is that from? I know that. Is that Captain Crunch? What the fuck is that?
You and the captain make it happen. That's Captain Crunch.
That's Captain Crunch. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, because I know it. Yeah.
Dude, I haven't had Captain Crunch in like 35 years.
I will once every year or two pick up some Captain Crunch because it's my favorite cereal. I don't do it often, but it'll take me like a couple of weeks to go through the whole box. You know,
3 days for me.
But I'll tear up some Captain Crunch and it'll tear my fucking mouth up. But
yeah, but it's worth it.
Well, you gotta like let it get to the correct amount of soggy, right? Because if you eat it too fresh out of the box into the milk, it's not soggy enough, right? And it cuts the roof of your mouth and shit. If you let it sit in the milk too long, then it soaks up the milk and becomes like a sponge, and it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But you gotta let it sit in there for like 60 seconds, you know, kind of deal. And when it just gets that milk on the outside kind of soaking in, but the inside still crunchy, that's where it's at.
And you put the ice cube in the middle, huh?
Yep, with one ice cube in the middle. You put the bowl of milk with one ice cube, and then you bring the cereal to the bowl, pouring out small amounts at a time, letting it get the correct amount of soak before you eat it. That is the correct way to eat cereal. You're right.
Yep.
I need this spreadsheet by Monday on this method.
You too can eat cereal correctly. Oh, someone's home.
what?
That's my dog.
I think there was other things I was going to talk about today, but we've been talking about Star Trek and shit for so long. I don't even fucking remember anymore. Oh, did y'all see the new
Thing?
Peacemaker trailer?
Peacemaker.
No, I
The fuck
didn't
is
see it.
Peacemaker?
John Cena?
John Cena?
Bam,
No,
bam,
I don't think
bam.
you may see it. You may can see it.
Yeah, Peacemaker. You'd like it. It's a good superhero fucking TV show that premiered. What was that? 2 years ago now. At this point, I feel like
Yeah.
it's been a while, and they're finally dropping season 2.
I liked John Cena until he apologized to the country of China in Chinese.
Well, here's the thing. If he didn't apologize, would he be able to make it out of China?
We wasn't in there.
John Cena, you would think that he could just stomp Chinese people like ants.
What you say? He wasn't in China when it happened.
No,
Oh,
but he did the apology, so the movie will be showed in the.
Right, so
his
that
next
they would
movie
make more
be
money.
called.
But the point is, he fucking knew Chinese. Like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, he learned Chinese because he apparently because their major superpower.
He's a red.
that and plus WWE gives out language classes for free.
Right,
When
and he
part
took
of your
Chinese because he's a red.
Right. So he decided to do Chinese.
He probably took Russian, too.
Probably.
I'm curious to see how they're going to handle the transition to.
But that would be the second
guns.
language. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm curious how they're going to handle the transition because he's moving over to the new James Gunn universe.
Well, technically, he's the beginning of the James Gunn universe.
Yeah,
Peacemaker was, well, the Suicide Squad was the first thing in the James Gunn universe. Peacemaker was the second.
Well, so the first season took place in the Snyder universe.
Yeah, but he already came out and said it all takes place in the current universe except for that one fucking scene. He said you just have to forget about the one scene when Justice League showed up. He said everything else that happened in that first season is all in the new universe.
Right. Well, I don't know if you saw, but in that trailer, there's a scene where he's like going through a mirror. He enters like a mirror dimension, and he pulls a gun on himself, basically. I'm assuming that's going to be like the transfer.
Yeah, maybe. All right, let's see.
Man, there's so many shows I still got to binge watch. I still need to binge watch You. I still need to binge watch Invincible, and I'm a binge watch Andor.
I just binge watched Invincible because my wife had only ever watched the first season. And she's like, man, it's been so long, I don't remember it anymore, and I want to catch up. So we binge watched all 3 seasons last week. God damn it, that's such a good fucking show.
It
That is such a good fucking show. Like, damn. But, yeah, I love that fucking show. Fantastic. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, Last of Us. God damn, they can't. I don't know. Dude, the episode last week, and by last week, I mean almost 2 weeks ago now, was so fucking good. Such a fucking amazing episode. And then this week's, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, just, why can't these shows be fucking consistent? You know, and in defense, like, I guess 2/3 of the show was good, but then 1/3 of the show was just all about fucking a gay love story. And again, and I talked about this a little bit last night on my show. Like, it's not good. And it's not because it's a gay love story. It's not good because it's not written well. And it's also not good because there's nothing there of interest to anyone. Right? The gay love story takes place between one character that we honestly don't really know. She's only been in 3 fucking episodes. And one character that honestly, let's just be real honest. She's fucking ugly. She's fucking. And I'm sorry. Like, people want to act like, and this is the same thing I said about fucking Star Wars The Acolyte. When people were coming out and saying, people don't like it because there's gay women in it. No. I'm going to tell you, like, if you haven't figured this out yet, Hollywood, dudes love gay chicks. But they just want hot gay chicks. Okay? They want hot gay chicks. Okay? And I'm sorry, but when one of them looks like a fucking potato that got left in a shoe for 7 months, nobody gives a fuck. And if it's on top of that, the story is written retardedly, nobody gives a fuck. You're just ruining an episode of something for no fucking reason.
And can I just say, no one wants to see 2 dudes making out ever. I'm sorry. If you're gay, maybe you would like to see that, but the rest of us, that's a no for me, dog. And that includes 99% of chicks, I'm sure. Most chicks are like grossed out by 2 dudes making out, right? A ugly chick, in my mind, is basically a dude. So when you have 2 ugly chicks making out, it's like having 2 dudes making out. I'm just reinforcing what you're saying here.
Yeah. It was not a well-written story. It's completely uninteresting. It's just, like, again, like 1/3 of the show was just that shit, and nobody fucking cares. And especially on the heels of last week, which was just, dude, I'm telling you what, last week's episode before this one was fucking amazing. Like, it was as good as the very best of Walking Dead back in like season 1 or 2 or whatever, when Walking Dead was actually good. That episode was fucking amazing. Like, it was a perfect zombie prepper SHTF episode of fucking television. It was phenomenal. And then this week, you have some chick telling another ugly chick that she's pregnant, and the ugly chick's like, I'm gonna be a dad? No, bitch, you're not. That's not how that works. Like, stupid fucking story. So, I don't know, man. I want to like this show because right now it's currently the only like SHTF apocalypse show we have on television, and I like those shows. I like seeing that stuff. But goddamn, man, they just seem insistent upon fucking it up.
Well, every single complaint that you've got for it is exactly what I've heard about the game itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
Yeah, it goes right
so
along with
the entire time I'm thinking, so
Yeah.
they actually stuck to the source material for once. Just
Except
They should
really
have
bad
kept this
casting. Because the chick that kills the main what's his name with the golf club in the game is jacked as shit. She looks like that trader off Ahsoka.
Looks like Brock Lesnar to me.
Yeah. That chick that plays that muscle bound chick, that gay chick they put in everything that was in Ahsoka, the Empire double agent.
yeah,
She would have been a good fit for that role.
Not the Brock Lesnar.
Not the little tiny girl they cast.
Brock Lesnar in drag would have been a better fit.
Well, look, you got Brock Lesnar's daughter.
Yes, yes,
It looks just like Brock Lesnar.
yes, yes.
they had their opportunity to change the source material this time, and
No,
people
what they
not
should-
get mad
no.
about it.
Here we go. They could have got Mark Henry to play the role and leave it a girl. I'm feeling romantic.
The Rock's daughter actually looks like him too.
These poor kids.
I don't know, man. They just seem intent on fucking everything up. But if that's what the game did, then I guess maybe they're not fucking it up as bad as some people.
Well,
are fucking.
The game was very, very negative outcome on the second game because
Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of people didn't like the second game, which to me would make me think, well, good. This gives you an opportunity. I mean, that game came out, what, in 2017, 2018, 20, whatever the fuck. It's been like at least 5 years since that fucking game came out. And that gives the people writing the show a chance to fix those things, right? You would think they would want to fix those fucking things.
No, because in current climate, they want to do. They would have did exactly the same as what the game is.
Well, the dude, the guy, the lead of that game, Neil Druckmann was his name. He's a producer on the show too, and he was one that pushed all that weird woke shit in the game, and he's making sure that goes into the show too.
Right. That's why in current climate, they would want it just like the game.
I don't know, man. Seems fucking retarded to me, but you know, what the fuck do I know? So, but you know,
Which is the reason why the second game won all those awards, because it had the woke stuff in it. Because
Now-
it won Game of the Year.
Now,
Yeah,
circling back
I
to
think so.
DS9 and the hot lesbian stuff, when Dax and his former wife met back together in the symbiotes, those two were hot when they made
yeah,
it.
and nobody had a problem with it.
Everybody loved that.
Nobody gave a shit about it then. Huh. Maybe because it was a good story.
Good story, and they were hot.
Yeah.
And in Discovery, were there any hot lesbians in it?
Not that I remember.
Right, I don't remember either.
Well,
A
Star Trek
bunch
doesn't
of gay
really have
dudes.
any hot women in it anymore.
Well, that's
Like,
why
they
it's
had
called
gay
STD.
dudes. Right.
Yeah, everybody calls Discovery STD. They try to make like disco a thing. No, every Star Trek has ever been is Star Trek, first initials ST, and the whatever the name of the show is, Voyager, STV, DS9. Star Trek has DS9.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everybody calls your show STD because it is.
I mean, I'd rather have the STD.
It made me lose a lot of respect for the makeup artists too. Like remember that show, that Sci-Fi Channel had makeup artists and stuff for the really famous movie effects artists. So like, well, you don't want to make makeup effects where the actors can't talk and emote and show emotion. And every freaking like Alien was like that in STD. The Klingons couldn't even talk with the freaking teeth and the makeup they had on.
Well, I don't know. It's just, why can't we have good things anymore? I mean, I don't know. It's not like there's not good shows. I mean,
Well,
we have Invincible, so it's not all like that. I get it, but still.
Well, I understand what you mean too. It's like, why can't they stop ruining the good stuff?
Yeah.
And at least Invincible, they are actually listed and they calm down Amber's character a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Invincible suffers from like wokeisms too, because they did a lot of race and gender swaps in the show.
Yeah. But they wrote it so good though. That's
Well, some of the gender swaps work. Like I like the newer version of Shrinking Ray.
Yeah, it gave a little more meaning to like his death too, like where he was growing as a person, is in a relationship, starting a relationship. But Shrinking Ray was like a throwaway character in the original comic.
Yeah, he was kind of a joke character anyway. So
yeah, and the scene where she gets swallowed, that's the last you ever see of the original Shrinking Ray.
I'm curious to see if they keep going with her in the future seasons, or if this is basically where she says goodbye.
Yeah, I do wish they could have worked out something with McFarlane though, because it'd been cool to see Spawn.
Yeah,
because Spawn was in the comics was one of the ones that killed the alternate Marks. The werewolf who was falling out of the building, that was supposed to be in Spawn.
I'm hopeful. I'm sure. I get the feeling people will see the success of Invincible and be like, man, if we get to be part of that, maybe that'll, transfer some success over this way. That's what I would think.
Of course, looks like they're making progress on the Spawn movie.
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, honestly.
So there's been production stills and stuff already.
Well,
it looks good.
Yeah. I mean, is it still that original shit where they were like, Spawn's gonna be like a fucking phantom ghost fucking thing, or is he like actually gonna be Spawn?
It looks like Spawn.
Alright, well,
it's full Spawn. What they've shown is whoever's in the suit is in a full Spawn suit, and it looks real. It's like it's a physical thing.
Wow. That's something at least.
I saw the first 2 episodes of the Star Wars Tales of the Underworld.
I haven't watched that yet. Is it any good?
It's decent. I mean, I'm kind of curious. I kind of like what they're doing with Asajj Ventress, but
I'm way more interested in her story than Cad Bane's story.
Yeah. Cad Bane's great.
Time period does it take place in?
It is early Empire.
Before the rebellion and shit.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, she was a good character in Clone Wars. I never gave a shit about Cad Bane, to be honest. Like, he was not a character I ever cared about. I mean, he was like a bounty hunter, and I guess he looked kind of cool, so people like latched onto him. But I never really cared about his character at all. But
I liked him in the Clone Wars, but he doesn't have the presence to carry his own show, especially because everybody know how he dies.
Yeah, in the Clone Wars, he was great.
Yeah.
But I would not want to watch an entire show based off of nothing but
Dude, I want an AI version of Star Wars where Emperor Palpatine is played by Donald Trump, and it would be great.
I mean, that would be funny.
And he's got an orange lightsaber.
I would watch that.
I would totally fucking.
I would be the
Watch the
best
shit out of that.
emperor.
This has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals.
Did anybody see the Wednesday preview?
Of what?
season 2? Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. I thought you were talking about the day.
No,
I saw the. I saw the quick little teaser or whatever it was. I don't know if that's. Have they released a full trailer yet?
I think I see the same thing you saw.
I liked the first season a lot. It was a good.
Yeah, it was great. Had a couple of woke stuff in it with the Believe All Women segment in there, but other than that,
Yeah, for the most part, it was a good show. Like I
Yeah.
liked it a lot. I thought they did a really good job on that show. Let's see here. What is this? Going back in time to shows that Fox never let off the ground. Freaky Links was a great series. I'm not sure what Freaky Links is.
I
don't
don't
remember.
I would
I
like to see
remember it.
another season of Almost Human.
Yeah,
Almost
that's what I
Human
was
was
gonna
badass.
Fox will never be forgiven for never
bring back
almost
Greg the
human.
Bunny.
They've canceled so much good shit. You know, obviously Firefly, shit like Almost Human. Like, there's been so many good shows that Fox just.
They
Fucking
give it one season and that's it.
Yeah. Oh well. You take what you can get, I guess, but it just sucks. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, I don't know why these studios that do this shit, like, look, if you know going in, as they always do, that hey, there's a good chance, just because of the schedule and whatever else, right? Like, hey, this show might get canceled. Okay, so ensure that the first season, at least while it may have some continuing threads, gets a solid ending.
No cliffhanger.
You know what I mean?
No cliffhanger.
Yeah, no fucking cliffhanger. Like, if you want to be like, oh, well, there's some other unresolved things and leave some things open for another season, cool. But fucking, like, close the main story. Give people a good, well-rounded fucking story so that they can, like, feel like they've actually watched a complete, you know, arc or whatever. You know, and they just fucking won't do it. They're like, oh, everything should have a cliffhanger. No, everything doesn't need a fucking cliffhanger. So, but they never do it. They never
blame a little bit on Star Trek, TNG, because I think they were like one of the biggest shows that first started like every season until the final one was a cliffhanger.
Dude, nothing used to be ever end in a cliffhanger, and that's why the cliffhanger was so effective back in the day. Because it was like, oh my god, like what's MacGyver gonna do? You know?
Yeah.
Versus now it's like every show, oh, we gotta throw it. It's like when your fucking boss comes down on you for not selling enough, right? So now you have to like fucking try harder to sell shit to people, and then they fucking want to buy it less because you're like pushing harder and you seem desperate. Yeah, it's the same fucking shit, dude. Seems fucking desperate. Like, oh, it's going to end in a cliffhanger. Otherwise, the people aren't going to come watch our next season. Like, no, why don't you just try to fucking tell a goddamn good story, you fucking talentless shit fucks?
Well, if it also do now, if a new show starts on Fox, it's like, why care? Because they're going to get one season and cancel it.
Yeah.
No matter how good the ratings are, they're going to cancel it.
And why is it every time I go on Twitter, I get pissed off about a bunch of shit, dude?
You know why they canceled Almost Human? It's expensive to make. The ratings were good, expensive to make. They canceled 2 really good shows for another singing and dancing competition show, live action show. because those are cheap and people watch them. Let's cancel 2 good shows for this pile of shit they're gonna make.
You aren't a big fan of Dancing with the Stars?
Oh no, I don't like reality TV. Period.
Have you seen The Masked Singer or whatever? Dude, there's so many stupid fucking retarded shows that they have now that like the low IQ masses of people who pay for cable in this country are just like they slop that shit up like fucking pigs at the fucking sty.
Yep.
That's how I always felt about a lot of the reality stuff. Like, you know, like Pawn Stars was interesting occasionally, but like the 600-Pound Life and Little People Big World and Duck Dynasty and all of them, it was all so.
Well, the reason why Pawn Stars was cool is because it was like what was the name of that show that all the old women like, where they bring stuff in and they tell them how much it's worth?
Roadshow.
Yeah, Antique
Roadhouse.
Show. Yeah, totally. That's it.
Yeah, it's Roadhouse.
That's cool. It's just that with more
Roadhouse.
Antique Roadshow. Yeah. It'd be awesome though if Antique Roadshow had some round kicks.
They just ripped the throat out of one of the women.
I did used to watch that show.
It was very valuable. They did a roadhouse and roundhouse kick them and like take their stuff.
And I also watch American Pickers. I think that was my show.
And there's some cool reality shows. You know, I mean, when they first started, like, you know, what was that one? Real World.
Yeah, Real World.
And then like, what was I think the first one that I ever like actually watched was
Road Rules.
Survivor.
Oh, Survivor.
Survivor, the one that took place in Australia. It's the only season I ever watched. Like there was when they first started becoming big, like it was like, oh, this is kind of cool watching real people do real shit for, you know, whatever reason. Like there was, but then it was literally everything on television after a while.
Yep.
It's like, oh, okay, well, I've stopped caring.
The only thing I ever watched, time I ever watched Survivor was when I go visit my dad, and he got into watching it like because his wife at the time was doing it, and I was sitting there and watching it one time. It's like they're sitting there starving to death. The turtles keep eating their bait, and there's little caiman crocodiles on the other side of the river, and they got a big Bowie knife. It's like, eat the fucking croc, or eat the turtle. Of course, you gotta know what you're doing when you prepare a turtle, because part of it's poisonous.
They say that if you eat sea turtle, that they have this like green fat inside of their body because they're turtles, and that the green fat is like the tasty, like once you cook it, like that green fat is the tastiest fucking thing that you've ever had in your entire life.
Wait, turtles are poisonous?
Well, it's not poisonous, but it will make you violently sick if you eat certain part of the inside the turtle.
Oh.
It's the ooze.
You gotta know what to. It's like not as bad as like a puffer fish, but you gotta know how to like butcher it.
It's the secret of the ooze.
Yeah. You gotta know what you're doing to make turtle soup.
Yeah.
But the crocs, those are little caimans. That'd be easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you got to know what you're doing too if you're trying to hunt those things.
Oh, the little caimans, they're small.
Oh, the caimans, yeah. No.
It's literally like a little caiman sunning on that self on the other side of the. Oh, we're starving to death. Eat that fucker.
Yeah, you can get a whole bunch of meat out of a caiman tail.
Yeah.
It's good too.
No, I've had croc tail before. It's good.
Yeah. Smoked gator bites is real
The
good.
one fishy? Was it fishy?
Yeah, it tastes like chicken. I know everyone says that, but it tastes like
Oh, it legitimately does. It tastes like chicken.
especially if you get it fried.
Well, once you realize chickens are basically the descendants of dinosaurs. So.
The texture is a little bit different than chicken, but the taste is
A little chewier.
It's flakier than chicken is, but yeah,
That's because the Matrix couldn't get that part right. That's why everything tastes like chicken.
Yep, pretty much.
Deep fried gator bites to get a little appetizer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. We've done been going for an hour and a half, so I think we've covered all the topics I wanted to cover for this edition of the Week in Geek. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by, having fun, shooting the shit, and helping us discover a way we could make Star Trek better if people would just fucking listen. At least if you tuned into the beginning of the chat. So, but that's going to do it for today. We will see you guys next time. I know, Honda, you got a chat tomorrow, maybe.
I've got a bunch of projects I'm doing tomorrow on stuff, so I may have a chat tomorrow.
May have a chat tomorrow.
I also may not have time to do a chat tomorrow. I'm not sure yet.
Well, Jared, you definitely have a chat tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah. So everybody go check out Collector Express. Collector Express.
Definitely not check out my channel. Whatever you do, stay away.
Stay away
We can watch Corrector Express.
from E Honda.
Unless you want to be.
Is it still? I can't even remember. I just see E Honda. Is it? Did you change it back to fucking 720 or is it 420 still? I don't
I'm
fucking.
the 420 baby, just like Colorado and Hitler,
Exactly.
because it's his birthday, right?
We had a nice little thank you who like comment with on our chat last night. Somebody thanked us about our opinions on the Maximum Spider-Man. He ordered one after what we said was really good.
Oh, good. It was great.
Maximum Spider-Man.
Everybody should go fucking watch my video I posted today.
What's Maximum Spider-Man?
It's just a new Spider-Man figure. That's awesome.
Is he Maximum?
He is totally Maximum. Straight out of the 90s. Maximum Extreme. Anyway. All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you fuckers next time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And take it easy or don't. I don't know. Do whatever the fuck you want. So, later, dudes.